Alright, so hopefully my mic quality is pretty good. If you can't hear me, turn up the volume, I guess, because my mic's kind of muffled for some reason. I'm trying to turn the game volume down so it doesn't like sound overbearing or anything. If there's something up, let me know and I'll try and like change the volumes for next time. Alright. Alright, let's see. Hold on. I'm not used to not hearing the 3, 2, 1 go. Alright, so let's see how you start the game, because this is pretty important. Okay, hold on. Yeah, like you need to be a little bit more aggressive here. I mean, to be fair, like that's kind of a weird it's not a weird opening, but it's like, that's a really aggressive opening. I don't know if I would expect that either. Most people tend to like start right here, and both people tend to like walk forward, and then they do like a nair or a sair right here. But you're at like the low plat, high gold level, or maybe, well actually you're probably more like, you're more like low gold because you just hit gold. So that's kind of weird. But this isn't a super big deal. Okay, so he got this first hit, which isn't that big. I mean, it's big. It can lead to something big. It's damage, but you can't let him get to something big. Let's see how he reacts. All right, so that's good. Like, luckily you didn't like try and like aggress in a way. Yeah, see, like some people would have tried to like uppercut immediately and just got hit by that dare he's doing right there. You didn't do that, which is good. You really need to get a weapon though. Yeah, you really need to get a weapon. I can see right now you're trying to get unarmed damage. Oh god, dude. Okay, so he just juggled you pretty bad. Let's try and see exactly what you could have done differently. I apologize in advance if this ends up being super long. Alright, so alright, so let's go all the way back. We're gonna have to break this down. I'm trying to break this down as much as I can. Alright. Alright, so you get uppercutted. So he goes to dare you. You dodge back. That's good. Okay, so this state right here is called the neutral game. If you don't know, I'm not sure how familiar you are with fighting games. So what neutral game means is that neither of you have an advantage. And so like, what you try and do in the neutral game is try and get an advantage without your opponent getting the advantage. So right now you should probably be trying to get a weapon, especially at your level. Because unarmed is strong, don't get me wrong, don't be afraid to use unarmed, but at your level you're probably going to want to try and get your weapons because there's less margin of error. Like unarmed is a really precise thing to do. So right there, alright, let's go back. Alright, so he threw his weapon. See, I don't think he dodged his weapon reaction. No, I don't think he could have. So right here, okay, I don't fault you for that but so at this point you should be really trying to get a weapon though, especially after that early damage he just got on you. Yeah, like right here when you missed that sidelight, you should have just went into I'm gonna get the weapon mode, not like try and fight him mode, because see right here he's gotten the advantage and he's keeping it, like both like in the game but in like kind of mentally, because when your opponent is hitting you like this, it's causing mental stagger, and each hit is kind of adding onto that. So you, like at this point, you need to be trying to get away, just mash dodge away from them. Especially at this early ranks, people aren't good at reading dodges and chasing you. You need to be getting away right here. Like I'm not sure exactly what's happening. Let me make sure he's not punishing a dodge. And just to be sure, we'll turn on stun time. Okay. So. Alright, so he punished you for like aggressing right there. Yeah, see, you messed up your side air spacing here too. Okay, so look, what you should have done, and this is something you can practice, if you wanted to side air him, which might have been okay, you jumped over him, which wasn't proper spacing. You should have jumped and then fast fell down and then side aired because of where he is. See, like you just completely whiffed it right there. That's a spacing thing you probably should work on. Alright. Alright, so there's one dodge window. Alright, so right here, this guy is actually pretty good at stringing. And what you'll find is stringing, by the way, just in case you don't know, stringing is like, okay, so a combo is true. You can't dodge out of that. A string is like a combo, but you can dodge out of it. So you could have dodged out right there, but I don't fault you for not realizing you could dodge right there, and right there is really a really tight dodge window. So don't fault you at all. That's true. That's not true. Okay, so like, really you should have been dodging away. But this is actually a really decent string, especially for low gold. Alright, and then right there, okay. Right here, you shouldn't have dodged under him. You should have tried to get away from him. You should have dodged down, probably down to the left, or maybe uppercutted. Like that's higher level. Okay, so, and I say higher level, and I don't mean it's like super high level, but so in the early stages, you should be focusing more on getting away and resetting back to the neutral game. But you could have like recovered like see right here. Okay, right here, you could have fast fell down and recovered him, but because you dodged, like you really didn't need to dodge right there, and like he kind of punished you for the dodge on reaction. Okay, and you still don't have a weapon, which is really bad. Okay, you finally got the gauntlets. I apologize. I'm probably nitpicking a lot, but I'm trying to help. And hopefully I can help you in some way with this. Alright, so let's see what you do when you get the gauntlets. Alright. Oh, and I just realized Tori did some decent damage with unarmed too. Alright. Okay, the Tori bombed herself. Okay, see, and this is where the mental game comes in. Okay, so like, why did you? Okay, and I'm not trying to make you like feel dumb or bad or anything, but why sidelight right here? And see, this is something you can work on as you're playing. Like, try and like, so you need to think. Okay, so it's important to think when you're playing this game. Don't think too much because that's a big problem for me. But whenever you make mistakes and do things, try and like keep a checklist. Like, okay, I need to not do this. Like, sidelight right there. It wasn't really needed. I mean, maybe you could have like jumped in there right here, but probably would have been better to just jump and try in there rather than sidelight because you might get locked in a recovery frame and he could have dared you. See, like, because like right here, let's see, he probably could have like dared you or something. Now, okay, so in the neutral game here, okay, so spear versus gauntlets. Okay, so gauntlets is gonna have some trouble, and I know this isn't your strong weapon, but gauntlets is gonna have some trouble getting on spear. But once it does, it can get decent damage. And sidelight's a decent choice here because until they start reading it and doing a D-light, because it can punish it. But you go when you do sidelight, you go over their neutral light, which is like their fast move, which is this one. Like you see, watch where you end up here. You see how you end like right there? That's good. See, you probably could have just dared right there, and gotten some damage or like down throwed. Yeah, well I think right here you definitely could have, because I think he wouldn't have had time to like, yeah, you were set up to punish right there. I'm like pretty sure. Alright, now let's see why you get hit right here. So, okay, so after the sidelight, you jump, and you go into a Sair. See, you should have been a little bit more cautious right here, because when you jumped right here, okay, the game was back in its neutral state, and he dodged. So you shouldn't have gone for a Sair like that. This is a spacing issue. This is something you'll get with time, and it's kind of like a mental, like a thing you get with knowing. Like, you really shouldn't Sair right here because of like the spacing. Like, you fast fall Sair, and he punishes you. Sidelight. What you probably should have done here is just tried to land back on the ground, because you'd already used some of your jumps, so you'd lost some of your resources. Alright. Yeah, be careful about dodging in too much, because you'll just eat a lot of damage. Like, learning when to dodge out and just reset back to the neutral game is important, especially at early ranks. You'll beat a lot of people just knowing how to do that. Alright, so I wish there was a faster rewind button, I really do. Okay, this kid, okay, he's like one of those people that really just loves to go for like combos and strings. And if you just dodge that, see, like, he didn't even land that. Now, it's not your fault for not punishing that, but you might, like, see, whenever, like, they do stuff like this, okay, so, like, watch how he does, like, sidelight, jump, sidelight like that. People that, like, play like this usually go for the same thing. Like, they'll go for the same, like, follow-up each time. because like they'll go into training mode and keep practicing these strings, and then they assume they always work, and you just have to basically you have to teach them that they need to respect that that's not true and punish it. So like next time he does a sidelight, try and assume he's gonna do that and punish it. Okay. Okay, this sig right here. This is like the plat gold killer, basically, because it's like it baits and punishes itself, basically, because you're always I still run into this thing. Okay, so when they do that, don't even try and punish it. Like if you do try and punish it, don't punish the attack on reaction. Like don't run in on reaction. What you need to do is land next to them. Like okay, so when you see this, like because you probably saw this and you're like, oh, I'm gonna side air them. Like why are they doing that sig? That sig's like no, why would you do that? So you shouldn't be doing side air right here. You should be trying to like dodge over here and get right here where it's not gonna hit you, and wait until right after like say you're right here, like right there, because then you know you're not gonna get hit. Because this is like, I'll show you the hitbox real quick, because this is like ridiculous. This move, you see that like the swooping, it's like that entire circle. It's just like, do not challenge, you're not gonna win it. Another good option, and I usually do this because it's just a safer thing. You see this startup? Just throw your weapon, because it outranges and it just interrupts it, and maybe you can like get something off of them being staggered from the weapon throw. All right, so now why did you die? Let's look at that real quick. And this guy is okay. All right. So okay, yeah, the D-light knocked you off the stage. Okay, yeah. And this is this is another problem some people have at lower level. Is going to the stage immediately. Like you don't have to go to the stage immediately. Take it slow if you need to, especially when you're in this like position where like you can die pretty easily. Now, this guy doing this is kind of bonkers. Like, and I don't blame you for running into it, but see, he's not like, I don't think he's reading you doing this. It's just like he's just throwing it out and hoping it hits, and you gotta be careful. Like people like this, I'd play kind of like slower and kind of like get a read on how they're playing first, because when people play like this, like going in like trying to out prioritize them, kind of like is usually a lose-lose. You got to be really careful with people like this. But what you could have done is you could have because what you should have done. Okay, let's go back to whenever you first are in the edge guard scenario. All right, so okay, edge guard scenario. You dodge weapon throw. That's good. I don't think it would have killed you. It might have. You should have fast fell. You shouldn't have immediately recovered. Because recovering is like one of the worst options, because especially when you're not challenging something, right? Like if you would have saw him like trying to dare you, like recovering to punish his dare would have been fine. But right here you should have just fast fell, maybe side aired to get closer right here. Because right here is like a really strong position to be in when you're trying to get back onto the stage. Because you kind of know what their options are. If they're right here, they can either jump and dare you, or jump and ground pound you, or jump fall over here. But needless to say, like all their options, you pretty much have a safe way of being back onto the stage. Always play it safe whenever you're in the losing scenario of like an edge guard. Be careful about like trying to counter edge guard, unless you got like a pretty good read on them. Okay, let's go back here. All right, spawn. And this is important. Like start of the game, it's important to kind of get a good mental state of what you should be doing. Same thing with spawning right here. Okay, grabbing weapon, that's good. Okay, so you grab the weapon. Alright, so he dares you. He's kind of jumpy, but oh, another thing, like see, I haven't been paying enough attention to his movement, but people that jump like this, like that's actually a pretty good strategy, and you're gonna see a lot of top people doing that because it mixes up your approach, and it makes it harder to realize what they're gonna do. Like it's harder to read what they're gonna do, because when they're jumping and landing like bunny hopping like that, they could go into a couple things. They could either stay in the air and side air you, or land and sidelight you. So get used to like moving like that. That's really important. Like you never really want to stay completely grounded, unless you have a read on how your opponent's playing and you think it will counter what they're doing. But your natural state should probably be to bunny hop, kind of like that, just a little bit. All right, so he misses the dare. All right, so you're right here. You probably could have, like, okay, on reaction to his dare, you probably could have just side-aired. Again, like, a lot of this is going to be nitpicky. Don't dwell on it too hard. You probably could have side-aired right there. On reaction to his dare. Because, like, he's not going to be able to react fast enough. Like, he's not going to be able to recover fast enough from his dare to punish anything you're going to do. Alright. This is, like, hasty. Like, you're kind of getting scared off the edge. Don't get too scared off the edge. Remember, you have, like, 2 jumps, a recovery, and a dodge. You're pretty safe. And you'll see a lot of people. Oh, I know. Oh, another thing. I noticed you don't like to jump. You haven't gotten on the wall yet. Like the wall, like I was saying earlier, the wall is really safe. Just don't dodge into the wall because of the new change. All right. Okay, neutral light. Neutral light. All right. So I don't know if you purposely did this. But that's actually a really good punish. That's like super hard to do on purpose though. Alright. It's like, why did you do that? Okay. Like, the sig, right? Okay. See, you gotta think whenever you gotta think a little bit, maybe like look back and like think and add it like mentally, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. Like, you shouldn't really side sig right there. Maybe unless you charge it, but nah, charging's not really that good. Alright. Yeah, that was fine. Side light. Oh, another thing to keep in mind about hammer. When you're off the stage, if you're ever in like an off-stage scenario, hammer recovery is like usually your strongest tool with hammer as to like getting a kill off the stage. Hammer recovery, whenever it's like they're going back to the stage and you're trying to kill them below, whenever you're like right here and they're right here, just go for stare. Make sure you have your spacing right on the stare because it's really important. It's one of the more punishable stares in the game. And then like, you know, basic, like when they're above you, pretty much go for nair. Like on stage, you don't usually want to go for a recovery unless you can get some like string off of it. You have an idea. It depends really, but usually you want to go for nair and space it well. But like for example, one thing you could do is nair. If they dodge your nair, recovery. You know, kind of mixes it up a little bit. Okay. Let's rewind because I kind of lost my train of thought. All right. And some of the stuff is spacing. Like a lot of people can get to diamond just by having good spacing and movement. Like just work on that is really important too. All right, so like why'd you say right here? Like you got kind of keep your like you should have dared right here probably. Now the question is, I'm saying these things, but I really need to be looking at if you would have been able to react. Oh wait, what was that sig? Hold on. All right. Another thing I'm noticing, I'll just add this here, because I'm not gonna like, I don't know if I'm gonna see in a specific situation. You're not really D-lighting with hammer. Now, with hammer, like you shouldn't be fishing for D-light, but you should kind of learn when you can do it, because it can lead to some good damage. Like anytime someone like tries to dodge through you, you can usually do like a D-light. In-light's really good for that too, but if you learn when you can D-light, D-light's usually better, because you can do like D-light into in-light, which is just straight up better because you get more damage. And learn what you should do after your D-lights, right? Because like, say you're right here. Actually, let me just play. I'll explain it whenever you get to that. All right. So like, right here, right? Say you would have like been like, say you wouldn't have done the sig right here, and you saw the ground pound. This ground pound is super punishable by the way. So right here, say you would have waited and you saw the ground pound. You're like, okay, I'm just wait. You could have D-light. They would have been popped up in the air, and you could have sared them, depending on the health value. You could have sared them, set up an edge guard, potentially got in the stock. Or if they're lower, you could do D-light into side light. Could cause an edge guard scenario, maybe get an early kill if they're at lower percents. You know, it opens up, it has good follow-up, so kind of learn when you should do that. There's some crazy stuff you can do off of D-light, by the way, like you know, D-light something. Just it's ridiculous once you kind of figure out stuff. Just be careful of when to be ridiculous, you know, because you don't want to fish too hard for strings. Alright, like, okay, so like optimally live here. Alright, so let's see how you get off the stage. Because for some reason, oh, you desig. Yeah, that wasn't very smart. I mean, maybe, okay, so if you would have read the dodge, like immediate dodge told you, that wouldn't have been bad. Okay, so you end up off the stage, which isn't good. It's not as bad as in like melee or something, but, okay, recovery. See, right here, you should have jumped and sared. Like, you should have, Like, one train reaction you could have for being off the stage is to jump, like, in this area right here and just Sair. Because a lot of people are going to go and, like, try and edge guard, like he did. Like, on sword or anything. A lot of people try and do that. You could gun right here and, like, Sair them. And it would have, boom, bounced them off. Could have potentially Saired them again and killed them. But you dodge, which isn't... You see, you didn't really need to dodge right here. The spear ground pun's super, like, super laggy. Alright, so, okay, here you're kind of... I can think you're kind of panicking a little bit. Okay, jumping and instantly Sairing, like, that's not very... You should have been jumping and, like, fast-falling Sair. Okay, he hits you up. You could have dared right there. I think I said that already. Okay, that's whatever. That was fine. Yeah, you should have jumped. This is probably a fast fall. Work on your fast falls. It's really important for getting some, like, good aerial coverage, right? Like, because your aerial moves might provide more coverage. For example, with Sair, you would have wanted to Sair, like, have a hitbox right here, because he was, like, he would have been coming, see, like, right? You would have hit him. If you would have jumped and fast falled, you would have hit him right there. Okay, decent. Side sig. Alright. Again, like, you want to be careful with SIGs. Don't get too risky with SIGs. Like, when you're trying to get like a kind of a random kill with a SIG, don't keep doing it, because then it's not random, you know? And they can kind of read it and punish it. Oh, God, dude, he's getting kind of trigger happy with these SIGs. See, like, yep, you gotta be careful about dodging towards them. When you're in a situation like this, don't dodge towards them. Be careful, especially when you're in a deficit. When you're in a deficit, play safe. Try and like ease the like, think of it as tug of war, right? Like, when you're losing, like, try and get the tug of war back in your favor before you start taking these risks, because you're just gonna end up going more and more into the black. Like right there, okay, yeah. Oh, see, that's good. Okay, so he sidelights you, reaction sidelight. That's fine. I mean, he kind of got a good trade, good spacing. Maybe you should have done it earlier. See, that's good. Yeah, like, charging the side stick. See, that wasn't super smart, but it's not super bad either, because, you know, what is the risk here, right? Like, okay, so he's at the edge. Most people are going to try and recover, and it's like I was saying about staying on the wall strong. A lot of people do is just straight up go, like, over this wall, even by accident. He might not have been trying to do that. That's another thing that's kind of annoying about recoveries, is he might have just been trying to get right here, but he happened to recover over, so that's not a bad option. They killed him. It worked, right? And I mean, like, say you whiffed it, it would have been kind of hard for him to punish it. Unless he was like Caesar. Alright, so. And see, this is another in-depth thing that I can show you real quick. Alright, so you go for... Wait, let's watch how he spawns, because I should probably point that out. God, this is going to be so long, I apologize. Okay, he spawns. Most people, like, bait. I don't think he's one of those people. No, he's not. He's one of those people that go straight for you. Okay, so, like, see, like, if I was playing, I would have been like, oh, this dude's going to go and try and hit me, like, right off the bat. So I would have, like, kind of tried to read his movement and trying to figure out how he would have done it. So I would have saw him jump. So in my brain, I would have been like, okay, he's jumping. I would have saw the dodge. I might would have jumped and recovered, or maybe you could have jumped and nared right here. In reaction to him being in there. Like, you probably shouldn't have really delighted. Let me try and figure out when you did this delight, though. Yeah, like, he was in the air. You shouldn't have delighted. You should maybe sidelight in there. Like, this is something you can work on. Just kind of keep in mind, like, where you should be doing your moves, and, like, how, like, the overall function of them. And, okay, so dodge reads. I don't know if you've heard about dodge reads before, but, so, okay. Sidelight. Alright, so sidelight into nair, that's, like, the basic gauntlet thing. You kind of do that, and then you kind of see how they react to it. Unless you know they don't have a dodge, then you go for it, because it's true, because they don't have a dodge. But, okay, so, you see how this kid dodged that way? Basically, you want to make a mental note, and, like, okay, he dodges away. So, next time you do this, you can, like, just jump into a side air, and it'll probably hit him, for example. That's if you got a good read on him. But what you can do is, like, jump into side air. You can still do that, because it might not be punishable. I'm not 100% sure. You might want to kind of test it out and see. You could, like, do a chase dodge. I've seen that before. There's a couple things you could have done here, if you would have known. This is, like, you had to have known. Alright, so you could have, like right here, you're like, okay, he's gonna dodge. Chase dodge in there, would have grabbed him probably. You could have chase dodged, maybe delighted, and gotten some crazy gauntlet stuff going on. Or just jump side air. I don't know if jump side air would have hit. Yeah, you could have done that. I'm pretty sure. Chase dodge nair might have been the safer option though. It would have been harder for him to punish, but they would have to read your punish usually. Like again, this is gold. So. Hey, oh yeah, whenever you see people like chase dodging, it's not necessarily a bad idea to do like D-sig because that has good coverage. See, this kid's like is going to throw out a move whenever he's in range, so you just kind of have to be outside of that range and just punish what he's doing. All right, basic. This is like a tip. Right, so a lot of people with spear, they recover like this. So you want to like dodge back when you see him right here and maybe sidelight. Just kind of prepare for it. Oh man. Yeah, see, don't always go for the nair. Try and mix it up. Try and figure out some other stuff to do that might work. Just go for the read. It's really important on gauntlets because they don't have a lot of true stuff. Yeah, so you could have dodged all of this. And like, I'm not sure what you're doing here. Oh. Here's the little thing. So that you could have inlighted. This is bad. This is really bad. You could have inlighted that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you could have inlighted that and punished it. Yeah, did you try and dodge away? Is that what happened? No, you didn't. You just had to move. All this is not true, as you can see. You should mass dodge like diagonal towards him, because I mean, unless he reads it, you're gonna get out and reset to neutral. That's a lot of damage you really shouldn't have taken. All right, edge guard. All right, that's a good. You got back on the stage. That's fine. Like I said about people coming up, it's pretty decent because a lot of people accidentally slide up, and if you do it right, it's not super punishable. But if you get to like high diamond, you gotta be careful about that a little bit, because people might recover high and then punish it. Depends. That's good. I mean, hold on, let's see. Let me make sure. I don't want to say that's good yet. Hold on. Alright, so. Yeah, see, like, punishing SIGs on reaction with SIGs when you're close is usually good. You have to know what SIG is, you know. Like, obviously, if you would have done, like down SIG, it might not have been good. Yeah, because he would have been in the air. He landed into it. Okay. That's a decent kill. Also, beef him. I think you kill with SIGs twice. I can't remember, but you gotta get comfortable with gimping on gauntlets, which is good, and like killing off the top with side airs and stuff with hammer. Gimping with recovery or getting early kills with hammer recovery is good. Like learn to kill without SIGs. It's really important. And like don't ever fish too hard because people that are good can exploit that. Like just kind of go for it like boom, like randomly. That's good. All right. Alright, so let's look at how this kid spawns real quick. He's gonna attack you. Like, I'm like 90% sure he attacks you. I can't remember for sure. Yeah, he attacks you. So you see, that was a good punish. Like, yeah, good punish for that. Alright. And see, because he's doing like sidelight a lot on spear, you can kind of like, you could kind of do dare more as an approach option. Just kind of look at how your opponent's playing. If he's throwing out sidelights a lot, like this dude's like really like, I'm gonna throw out this hitbox. Like I'm gonna do this move, and he doesn't think. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but it doesn't seem like he's thinking a lot about his approach. So, and usually people when they don't think a lot, they usually build a habit by accident. And you could have kind of dodged back aerially and done a dare, or like dodge through, turn around, and D-light or something. See, like the percent you're at, you need to go into like safe mode. Like if you're like try and think of Hattori SIGs, and if you're ever within range of those, dodge away, just preemptively dodge away. All right, so see, like you keep going for that nair, but he keeps dodging it. You don't need to do that. All right, and see like right here. This is bad, and these sounds are terrible, but this is bad because you've done this before, so he'll probably come to expect it. And like I said about spear people earlier, is they almost always do this thing right here, and you kind of like it's kind of a combination of things. Like you're in deep red, so you really shouldn't be throwing SIGs out like this unless you get a super hard read on someone. Like, it probably would have been better if you did like a charge side stick waiting for his recovery and punish with that. Um, but instead you do this D stick, which you've done before. So like a smart person would be like, he's going to do the D stick. He did that earlier. I'm going to recover. Or, just a spear player that's, they're like, oh, I'm going to recover from the side because it's pretty safe, hard to punish. And that gets you killed right here. Well, yeah. Hopefully I was able to help in some way. I might watch over it and maybe add on to it, like mention you or something. But yeah, hopefully this wasn't too long now. But hope I could help.